All right. We'll give it just a few minutes here to get everybody situated. And I might even adjust the lighting here. It looks a little dark. Let's bring that up just a sniff. Let's just see what that does right there. Yeah, that's it. That's it. I like that. And make sure I got everything the way that I like it before we get started here. Get some folks in. We're going to be talking about strings and setups. It's an interesting topic because it's something that, I guess once you get to a certain point in the game, you stop thinking about it. You're just like, oh yeah, this is great. This works great. I'll go with it. But I know there was a point in my life where I was really obsessed with trying to find out what the exact action was on my favorite guitar players' setups. Like I had this idea in my head that if I knew exactly what Guthrie Govan's action was, that would unlock the secrets. Or if I knew exactly what string gauge John Petrucci or Brent Mason used, then that would unlock the secrets. It was this whole like kind of looking for love in all the wrong places. You know what I mean? I was like looking for the answers in everywhere except where I should have been looking. Now, that's not to say that this stuff doesn't matter, because I think it 1,000% can dictate what your playing is one way or the other. Also, for whatever reason, I'm seeing, let's go to live chat. I want live chat, all messages. There it is. Yeah. All right, cool. Yo, it's good to see everybody. Yeah. That's not to say that this stuff doesn't matter. It matters. I've got my doodads that I really love. I love to have a couple of cloths of different consistencies that do different things. This is the one I always use to like wipe the grime off the strings. This one I always use to polish. Thanks to my dudes at the gig rig. Right, I like that one for polishing. There's small doodads that I've got that I haven't really messed with, like this Fender amp stand cradle. Really mess with that. Whatever. It's cool. These are great. These Planet Waves, string winders, and clippers. Also, the Shine, the lemon oil, and this is really awesome. This is the Ernie Ball. You can play pound cake with it if you hovered over the pickups, right? So I guess let's just get started. I got a toothbrush here. Not for your teeth. Not for your teeth. I guess it could be for your teeth if you wanted to. Truss rod tool if you need it. Hopefully the guitar is in a spot where it doesn't need anything. Baby screwdriver for the pickup height if it requires it. Now let's just get into the guitar we're going to do, which I haven't planned. Yo, that's the one right there. Yeah. When you rub your fingers down it and it feels like you need a tetanus shot, you're like, yeah, you need help. So let's just go ahead and get started here on what I'm going to do on my basic setups and the way I like to restring. Now, a couple of things of note. This guitar has a floating trim. So you can pretend like you're Jeff Beck, even though none of us will ever be Jeff Beck. And this is a really solid guitar. Like I it's like people always ask me what it is about the Sirs. They just feel solid. It doesn't feel like, I don't know. It doesn't feel like it's gonna break or something. I know that's a weird thing to say, but sometimes when I pick up guitars, they don't feel right. They don't feel solid. This guitar is also not red. I know that it may look red in some light, but this guitar is actually Dodge Mopar orange. You guys know that I'm a big car guy, so this is actually like Dodge orange, Mopar orange, like the generally from the Dukes of Hazzard. I grew up watching Knight Rider and Dukes of Hazzard and the A-Team and all that stuff, so those colors always stick out in my mind. All right, let's dig in. Strings, I have really acidic, super acidic hands. So previously I was trying different string gauges. I have some 9s here that I'll use for a Floyd Rose in standard. Let's talk about this for a second. And I have 9 to 46 like this, which I'm no longer using. I'm using these XS. You're saying, why do I use the hybrid gauge on one and not on the other? Is because, check this out. So like when you have, what I've found is when a Fender style headstock, you 6 on a side goes down. The string tension changes throughout the whole. So if you've got the floating bridge, that's going to change the tension of the guitar. Also, I don't like to say what's best. This is just what works for me. This is what I like. Somebody else set their guitar up totally different. I set it up where the string, where the back is recessed, so it can be flat on the setup, but I can pull it up a minor third or almost a minor third. Usually a minor third. When I like it flat for the way it feels in the left hand, and I like the neck pretty straight, like just pretty daggum straight as I can get it. So when the headstock is like this and there's 6 on a side, I noticed that the string tension doesn't feel right if I use just a basic 10 to 46 set. The high strings feel really tight compared to the low strings. The low strings feel kind of slinky. So on Fender scale length with 6 on a side, I have found that running this hybrid set of 9 to 46 for standard tuning is the right answer for me. Now, when I play a Gibson scale length or maybe a Paul Reed Smith and you have 3 on a side, I go to a full 10 to 46 string gauge. And that is completely, up to the user, what they like, what you like. But this is what I find works really well because you have the string travel is so far. Look at all that extra string that you've got from the E versus all of the baby string that you got from the low E. The next thing to note is if the headstock is reversed, you're going to have a slinkier feeling. So then I might readjust, you know what I'm saying? And it might be the other way around. It might be 10s on the longer. It doesn't bother me if the low string's kind of tight because it's big and I'm not going to be bending that thing like a madman. But on these high strings, I need it to be really pliable. Okay, so let's talk about the strings. These are the D'Addario Never Fade Away, Maximum Life, Smooth Feel, insert advertising words here. That's cool. I don't really care what you tell me it does. I care about what I think it does. And this is a great string that performs like a coated string on longevity, but it sounds like an uncoated string. And it doesn't feel gross and feathery like coated strings feel. I know a lot of you guys like elixirs. Good for you. I hope you're happy with them. I don't like them. The tension is wrong. So if anybody from Elixir is watching this, I'm not attacking you personally whatsoever. I'm not even saying your product sucks. I'm saying it sucks for me. They feather. They don't feel right. Like the tension is wrong. You can compare a set of non-coated strings to elixirs, and I guarantee you the elixirs will feel like they have more tension. That is it. That's just the way it is. This is just my thoughts. I do have a box of Ernie Ball strings that I've been going through and trying and just comparing. I'm always on that hunt. But as of right now, the D'Addario 9 to 46 is the answer. So let's just dig in here. What I'm going to do before I even get started on the string change, I'll just take some of this polish and just get some of the road grime off of it. I'm not going to put the polish directly on the guitar. I'm going to squirt it up on this rag and get her on the rag and then kind of take it and get some of this pancake grease. My hands are so daggone filthy. And this is just like a loose, really not a big deal kind of overview of what I'm doing things. I know if you came in here today wanting to see some hot licks, maybe we'll get to them by the end, but this was a request from one of our Patreon members shout out to the Woodshed Patreon. If you like what I do and you like the posts and you like the stuff that you can consume for free, please jump over to the Patreon and throw $5 in the old beer bucket. That allows us to keep things going and allows me to keep the lights on and keep the bills paid so I can continue to make content that for the majority of the world is free. But it is nice to have a beautiful community over there on Patreon. And with that beautiful community, if you guys have a request, that's what I do. So we're watching a live stream right now that's free, but just know that it is brought to you by the fine folks at the Woodshed Patreon. This is actually specific to Woodshed member Ad. Ad Winners is one of our guys over there. Shout out to all the crew over on the Old A Wood Patreon. So he said, man, will you just talk about setups and restringing and all the things? And I feel like I struggle, with sometimes keeping things in and out of tune, blah, blah, blah. I have some other tips coming at you. Tip number 1, I do not take all the strings off. Okay, crazy talk, I know. I only take off 2 strings at a time. And you're probably going to say, well, why do you only take off 2 strings at a time? Well, let me tell you. That's because our friends at Diodario, up there in Farmington, our good friends at Diodario in the players circle, they send these packs and the strings are paired. So what I do is I open up my little baggie, my little dust in a baggie. Thanks, Billy Strings, for a great song. By the way, Billy Strings was on Theo Vaughn's podcast. It was really great. Doing some picking. I'm about to get deep into the bluegrass world again and just have some fun getting back into that and knock the rust off of those chops. I've been shredding and playing so much electric and so much rock and so much metal. I'm hungry for some bluegrass music. So, as you can see, they come in pairs. They, when they're sent to you, they're paired off. So I'll just set my good pair there, and I'll take the old busted off and put on that new hotness. Now here comes the old busted. Nothing that requires any thought on that front. But what I do at this point, now I've got a little bit of fretboard available. So the reason the rest of the strings don't come off is I keep the tension on the trim. And so the trim now is not feeling like it's just collapsing and folding over into itself. An argument can be made. It's like, oh, that's fine. All you got to do is just go back and set it up. What I've found in my life is that when you release all of that pressure, it takes even longer to get the guitar to settle. You've got to remember that we're dealing with an organic or pretty organic situation here with a guitar. You've got a lot of moving parts. You've got springs. It's a piece of wood connected to a piece of wood. So temperature, just like your house or your roof or any of that, or your tires on your car, temperature is going to affect this thing a lot. So and I don't like to just let all that pressure off. As you can see, still got 4 strings on the old Stratobator here. So now we got the old strings over to my left. We're going to take the new strings. And I just get in here with the polishing cloth, and as I take off the strings and I have a little more area under the pickups, I get that off of there and clean that baby up. Okay. Now, this is an easy part. You just run her through. I know for a lot of you advanced guys, this is going to be the most boring episode of the Woodshed ever, and I'm sorry for it. Actually, I'm not sorry for it. I feel like sometimes I spend all of my time trying to think about the super advanced player, and I'm like, oh man, what am I doing here? It's like they've got to have something super crazy hot dogging or they're not going to learn anything. I've got to quit lying to myself and thinking that everybody plays on this elite level. I spend too much time on Instagram, and the entire world looks like they play like freaking Steve Vai. So I feel like I'm always trying to play, bring things to the top level. So let's just talk about some things that are beginner and intermediate. Maybe some of you advanced guys can learn something about your setup. Now, this is just some lemon oil. This is nothing special, but if you don't use it, you're going to have problems. So I just take a couple of globs, glob her down, just randomly throughout the neck of the guitar. And I put it on the old strings. They're coming off. You know what I'm saying? So who cares what they're going to do? I take my string cloth, right? I rub it in, and just kind of keep that fretboard juicy. That lemon oil is a delight. It smells good too, which is nice. So I'll take that bad boy and get her in. And then I'll take a flimsy pick like this. It's just the old pick that says, this shout out to Sean Tubbs, the Tilt Overdrive pick. And if I see any road grime or any finger crap, I'll go in there and just gently scrape it off. I don't use a razor blade. I try to keep it clean enough to where I'm not having to use a razor blade. And I just kind of scrape off that mess, that road grime. And keep her clean, keep her rocking. While we're doing this, I want to go ahead and tell you guys that David Beebe and Tom Quell will be joining us at this year's Woodshed Guitar Experience. I know you guys know those cats. They have a beautiful app called Solo. And now outside of being at the event talking about Solo, they're going to be talking about fretboard visualization, what it's like to play in a duo. You guys will be able to jam with them, obviously, on stage and spend some time working with them. So Tom and David Beebe, man, I'm excited. So they'll be joining myself, obviously, and the legendary Steve Morse. My thoughts and love go out to Steve and his family, the loss of his wife. I can't imagine what that's like right now. So, if you guys are the prayer saying type, say some prayers for Steve and his family. Think about you, Steve. Yeah, I can't imagine. So once the lemon oil's on, and we kind of got a loose wipe down here, I'll take the string closest to the old strings and run her through. Actually, there's going to be one more thing I do. I just check and see if the nut is sticking. And it feels like there's just a little bit of stick right there. So I'm actually going to I'm going to walk right out of frame real quick. And get some little bit of lubricant. This is not the lubricant that you think it is. This is a different kind of lubricant. This is just something to keep. This is like similar to the fishing line stuff. Any of you guys go deep sea fishing or whatever, and there's like that lubricant on there. I forget the companies that make this. This one just says lubricate on it. But there's a lot of companies that make this stuff, and you just take a little dab and run it right down there at the end, into the nut slot. Yeah. And then I'll wipe off that excess. Another thing I might do is take a little bit of that and just dab a little bit right here over the saddle, which is kind of crazy talk, isn't it? But I think that helps keeps things nice and greasy. And now I'm going to retest it. Testing it with the end of the string that's not the playing side. So I can just feel what's happening right there. Yeah, that's better. Yeah. Keeping that baby from binding up is really clutch, man. You just do not want that thing to bind. That's where you're going to have all of your tuning problems. Yeah, it feels better right there. Yeah. Yeah, it's nice. Okay, so then I'm just looking for it not to grab. Okay, so at this point, I've got her lubed up. Insert your own joke. And this is how I talk to myself all the time. Yeah, Sahara Bar is talking the nut sauce, right? Nut sauce. Okay, and then we'll just go ahead and take the other one, which is the low E. Get her going. Now, when it comes to tuners, here's an interesting story. I used to hate the old Fractal tuners. When I say old, I'm talking about the OG, the one that had the green screen, Axe 1 or 2 or whatever. I used to hate those tuners. Shoo, they were gross. They didn't track well. I feel like I'm throwing Fractal under the bus, but I'm not. I love Matt and Cliff, and I love their product. But the fact of the matter is that OG tuner was a mess. But the new one, I will say this. The new one is my one of my main reference tuners. I think the Axifex 3 Super Duper Turbo Ultra Championship Edition, whatever it's called, you know, ultimate super duper one, which I've got set up here. I think it is a delightful tuner. And I think it tracks really, really well. Okay. Get that plugged in there. Come on, Andy. Felt like I was in a spy movie and I couldn't get it plugged in, you know. Okay. Now I've got my tuner up. I'm going to use this handy dandy Ernie Ball rig and just wind her up. Make sure my volume's up. I kind of tune on the neck pickup. I don't know why. I just always have. And all I'm going to do is just get it to where it's in the realm of A. The realm of A. I'm not even going to, we're not going to go crazy on it. We're going to get this in the realm of E. Yeah, in the realm of E. Okay. So now we got those babies on. This guitar, oh my God, I poked my nose off. Don't do that. This guitar, I'm trying to dodge too many things, has the locking tuners on the back, as you can see. I think that is super sick. Even on Floyd Rose guitars, right? You could lock them down and go to work. I'll go in there and lock them from the back. Here is a misconception. Do not over tighten those tuners. All right. My guitar techs, John Cooper and Sammy Bones, they'll get in there and tighten those things too tight. It does not help you if that thing is like pliers and vice grip tight. It's not doing anything past a certain point because you're actually at that point pressing the metal. Does that make sense? You know how you can crimp a string? If you over tighten those tuners, all you're doing is crimping it. You're not providing any extra stability. So John and Sammy are two of the finest, but I've told them, I'm like, guys, you do not have to kill it like that. And it just makes it a pain getting them unlocked. I just think that's a big myth. Yeah, exactly. Robert says, what I do is put a spacer under the back edge of the tremolo. That way, when I restring, I just tune it and it goes right back to floating position easy. That's not a bad idea. I just keep the tension on it. 2 at a time is fine. And it's good because the strings come out of the pack from D'Addario 2 at a time. So it's actually, hey, they like it. I like it. It's all good. And now I'm just going to go back and just make sure that lemon oil is rubbed in from where I brought it off of those other 2 strings were there. And now those strings are not there. I feel like I'm just narrating some Captain Obvious. This episode is brought to you by Captain Obvious. But sometimes, man, I've watched people and they have problems with their $4,000 guitars. And I'm like, man, it's not the guitar's fault. It's the way you're doing it. Your human error is all. And it's like, gosh, it's 99% of every problem that I've ever seen from a technical aspect. It's human error. I see guys with their pedal boards. I'm like, this pedal is noisy, dur. And then they'll buy another pedal and be like, it doesn't sound good, but it's not as noisy. I'm like, yeah, but you're developing a ground loop because of whatever reason that one piece of gear doesn't work with this other piece of gear as nicely. And all you had to do was just lift the ground somewhere in your signal chain, right? And it's just human error issues. Same way with amps. I hate it when people are like, that amp sucks. All it did was blow tubes. I'm like, well, was the power regulated? Was it, what were you powering it on? What were you running through? Was it going directly into the wall? Was it going into a Furman? Like, what's your complete signal chain? That's really what it boils down to. It's not just one aspect or the other. Now, here's a booger. The G is always the booger. The G and the B are always boogers. So I make sure to just make sure he's really good and he's not crimping or grabbing. He's great. That nut is doing a great job. A little graphite can help a nut. And then there's always when the nut needs to be replaced. That's always the thing. All right. We got the middle two on here. And I'm taking my time. I think, it's like there's no reason to be in a hurry. We're hanging out. I feel like we'll do this string change in about 30 minutes. Check everything. And that's just going with some cleanup too. So it's actually, not a bad deal. I'll check the chat here for a few questions. If you guys have questions, let me know. That actually shot up to E flat. Woo! Come on back down. Come on back down to D. There you go. Okay. I love this thing right here. I love this thing. Come on. Ooh. There it is. Okay, now let's take off those top two strings. Again, if you notice, I haven't started stretching the strings and doing any of that crap. I'm just kind of leisurely taking my time here. Hey, Paul, how are you, sir? Yeah, Joe's chiming in with some good common sense. You just need it enough to lock it. You don't need more. Do not over tighten the freaking tuners. Like, why? I don't get it. It's like if you can crimp a string and you can see that the string will crimp like that. If you tighten it too far, you're crimping it into the string and you're actually creating more tuning stability issues. You're making things worse, And a lot of times people think they're making things better. Well, I got it as tight as I could get it. Same way with the Floyd Rose, When they get on those, I like these little things. These are just little magnets. And this is made by Hex Hider. Look at these little dudes. My camera's not going to zoom in on it. There it is. That's the Hex Hider. And it's just an Allen wrench. But it's got a magnet in it, so it'll stay on the back of your headstock. It's really cool. I love that guy. I love his product. Really, really good stuff. I say I love that guy like I have beers with him. I don't know who the hell he is. I don't know who he is. But I love his product. I think that's really cool. I've never had a beer with him, Mr. Hex Hider, but if you're in this or you're watching this, I would. Okay, last two, and always make sure on these colored ends and the string gauge that you're doing the right string on the right one. The black here being the B and the silver is the E. You can always look on your code. I'm just always paranoid about putting the wrong string on the wrong one, and then you end up with a whole new problem. Oh, now we have a whole new problem. Okay. Get those babies in there. Take one more look at the fretboard before we go back to work here. On that liminal, she looks good. I may put a little bit on the back just to grease her up. Check that nut. Yeah. Okay. Good. And in theory, and in most of the time reality, I'm not going to have to do a lot of setup to this. It's going to be a thing where I put this baby together and stretch out the strings, and she's going to be ready to rock and roll. I need to get a Sir with a humbucker in the bridge. I need to make that a thing. The Sir Strat thing with a humbucker in the bridge. I need to do that. Just a great classic, timeless kind of sound and setup, There we go. Okay, so if you noticed, we got it in the realm. Now I'm going to switch cloths. I'm going to go to my string cloth. I don't want to tear my fingers up, so I'm just going to take it and hold it like that. And I'm going to grab it and pinch it like this. And I am going to stretch the strings in this kind of motion all the way down the string. I'm not just going to hold the string and pull it in one spot. I'm going to go through and pull the string like this all the way down. It's just something that I feel like helps the guitar, helps the string kind of stay in place. I'll give it a nice good tug. Same kind of thing. I'll just go down through here, just shaking that rope. Then the G. Insert all the jokes, the dad jokes. So it's like the G string dad jokes are like all of the New Balance jokes with Corvette owners. You know, it's like the dad joke of the genre. Dad jokes. Okay, keep going here. Get big A in shape. Lime green, sir. Thought you had one. The lime green has a neck humbucker. I want a Strat that has humbucker single. And these, you know, that's the move. That's going to be another addition to the arsenal. I don't have that. And that stuff is actually really great for the Gary LaVox gig because so much of those songs and sessions were like done with the Dan Huff thing, you know. Boy, it sounds good. I can feel the resonance into the guitar, and you can just tell a great guitar, man. And this is one. So we're gonna move it on up until that B string's kind of being a booger. It's gonna drop, so I'm gonna give it a good yank. I'm gonna yank on that trim, and I'm gonna beat on it a little bit, you know. Yeah, Sahar says you need the hamburger with the hot dogs. I call that the Grill Master setup. Get the hamburger and the hot dogs together. I think Ben has a Steve Lukather Ernie Ball that's got the hamburger with the 2 hot dogs, and it is a delight. I think it's like purple, maybe. So me and Ben were texting the other morning about the Glass Prison, John Petrucci, the Glass Prison. And just got to looking up people playing it, and obviously there's a million people miming it. there's people sweeping it, you know, and it's not swept. It's actually alternate picked. And you're probably saying, well, hey, Andy, how do you know that? Well, I just had dinner with John Petrucci. Name drop. I had dinner with John Petrucci in L.A. during NAMM. Anaheim, actually. It's me and John and Sterling Ball. Sterling's the best. By the way, Sterling Ball, you are the best. If you see this, you are factually the best. We had dinner, and the Glass Prison came up, and he was like, yeah, man, you know, when Jordan was playing that under the verse of the vocals, he was like, man, I think that would be cool to play on guitar. So what I'm doing is I'm just going through here, and I'm just getting everything tuned pretty close. I'm going down the guitar and then back up the guitar. And now for what I consider, if there is any kind of trick to my setups, this is how I tune. I will tune from the D. Like, check it out. We're going to do it in real time. I'm on the neck pickup. I feel like that harmonic note is pretty true. So I'll tune this D, and I'll get her right. Give it a yank. Give her some bendies. Get that going. Boy, my hands feel weird. Okay, and now I'll tune the G. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to give it some yanks. Okay. Let's go back down to the D. And if you notice, I'm tuning from the inside of the guitar to the outside. It's like I'm tuning like that. I think that makes a big difference on the way the springs. So, okay, on a Les Paul, it doesn't matter. On a hardtail, it doesn't matter. But when a tremolo floats and it's got the up and down motion, which I like, I tune from the inside out. So I go D, G, D, D, G, A, D, G, A, B, DG. And every time I start back over and I tune those inside strings again, and I keep tuning to the inside and then the outside. Now we're going to bring in the B. And obviously, if you're Van Halen, you're going to tune that string, that B, just a little bit off. So those power chords are going to be true. Since now we're down on these bottom strings. Now we got to go back to the D. Because when I tune those strings, yep, the D's flat now. See? That's the thing. The D and G are now flat. And basically, you're bringing the whole guitar back to its home base. Where he wants to be. He or she. And what I'll do is I'll probably play the guitar quite a bit with the strings hanging off the end before I go in and cut them. Okay. Now I'm just going to use the Axe Effects because it's hooked up. So let's just see what we got. Yeah, nice. Yeah, guitar's already, he's like really playing nice with me today. Let's put it on a different setting. Wow, I've got that shred setting on. It's not kind of stupid. So Pookie's saying to Sir make a 24 fret guitar. Actually, Pookie, they do. It's called the Andy Wood model. It's a telly shape. The other 24 fret model is the modern. So, yeah. I've seen the EJ rolls off the volume pot for cleans, but then turns down the tone for leads. Do you do something similar? I actually just run the bridge pickup kind of at about 7. I'll run it right there. You know, the number one thing I miss about the Axe Effects is the compressors the compressors aren't as good to me as my Woodshed compressor. Well, it sounds good though. Okay. Adam is saying also, I want to enroll in the Patreon at the Monster tier. When do you schedule 30-minute lessons? Basically, you just message me on Patreon and say, hey, Andy, do you have a spot this week? And then I actually do them a la carte like that. want to address this a little bit. Let's go into the para EQ and see what we got. Maybe get a little bump. Let's give it a little bump at 400. What do we think? I like a little bump at 400. Just a little bump. Nice. It's good. Sounds good. Go in here and put a little bit of that in there. A little bit of this over here. Yeah, it's nice right there. Maybe some more top. I'm just going through listening for frets right now, making sure nothing's fretting out. Yeah, everything's working good. I mean, you can tell how nice the tuning is right now. This is a great question. Sahar says, if you don't mind me asking, what kind of reverb are you using? And the answer is I'm not using any reverb at all. I'm using the Halo. It's the Halo multi-delay in the Fractal. It's nice too. Let me roll up and give you some more mix on it. Give you a little more mix. Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? Woo, sounds good, right? Trying to do too many things at the same time. Go to a different setting, right, to do the solo. That's the only problem with running everything off of the Axe effects is you're just like, well, I guess I need to go do something else here. What's going to be the solo? I don't know. I've got some good ones in here. This. I don't really like that one for this. Found a different one. Dyna lead. Not really, kind of honky. 50-watt Marshall. That's kind of nice. Put some more delay on there because that delay is fun to play with. What's the lick? Kind of slipping out of tune a little bit. I'll go again and tune this baby up. Yeah, B string's getting out of control. Yanking on it. So again, I'll probably go back in and just noodle around and just keep tuning from D to G to A to B. And then, yeah. And then E. The E's are out. The E's are flat. Let's see what we got now. This is a little more accurate. This is a nice setting though, isn't it? I think it feels good. Yeah, the preset is the Aurora delay. I feel like the gate's a little tight. Probably release that gate a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, I could probably bring that gate out some more. Yeah. Yeah, this is just a preset that I made. It's the fractal. Yeah, this is a 50 watt Marshall. I think it's just mush. Yeah, it's a jumped 50. The cabinet is a basket weave and a classic lead. The overdrive on it is a tube screamer, a tube driver. It's a 3-knob tube driver. And then the delay is the Aurora delay. Yeah, just one that I like. No, it's not the actual pedal. Yeah, I love that everybody's like, he's doing pedals. No, this is just all fractal. And I'll save this setting. Let me just save it. And I'll post this after the live stream. I'll just post this to my Patreon so all you Patreon members can have this preset. My hands aren't warmed up. Yeah. No, I didn't tab the Glass Prison because I feel like there's a million tabs online. I feel like there's a million tabs of Glass Prison online. Yeah, this guitar's playing great. Oh, that. Look for the new album. There's going to be a release this Friday of a new song. All that kind of good stuff's coming out. So just stay tuned. There's almost like not enough gas in it to do it. It's like the gate or the comp or something's making those taps sound kind of spitty, and they shouldn't. All that stuff gets way more clean when you have the little handkerchief on the end. I don't know. Yeah, here it is. One of these babies. Put this thing on and like everything gets way cleaner. It's like nuts. It's not that it's cheating, but it's so much cleaner. It's crazy. So everything's nice and staying in tune, and at this point, after some mindless noodles and poking around on kind of nothing, I feel confident that I can take the strings and go ahead and snip them off. I feel like the guitar is playing ball with me. So all in all, those are the things that I do when I'm changing strings, setting up my guitars, all that kind of stuff. This one didn't need anything. It just needed a string change and some love on it. Let's talk picks real quick. Cables. This Planet Waves cable Let me unplug here and just mute this out. Hit that muter. Okay. Hit that muter. We'll put this over here. Also, guys, I ordered something this week that I think you're all going to love called the Coda Grip. It is a really cool piece of kit that let me just see if I can put it over here. Coda Grip. Check this out. I'm going to put it in the chat. Command copy. So let's go over here to the chat. Check this out right here. I just got one of those. And it is nifty. Actually, I ordered 3. I ordered 3 of the Coda Grips. And I think they're really, really cool because I'm always looking for, I just want to hang my guitar. So it's like I want to have one right here. Maybe put one on the cabinet, the Sir cabinet back there, because I'm always like going back there and like messing with stuff. Even though the boat is behind me, I don't want to mess with that, right? Yeah, K Sharp says actual pedal for sure. That's amazing that you thought the Fractal was the pedal. Like that's really a testament from the Fractal. Dustin, can you put up a screenshot? Can I? Yeah, there it is. There's the Fractal. Let me turn that off. Yeah, so obviously the tuner there's nothing plugged in right now, but that's the screenshot of the Fractal. I didn't know I could do that, but I guess I had went in here and made that a thing at some point. Let me turn that back off. There you go. Isn't that neat? The Coda Grip, isn't that cool? Thanks, Sahar. Yeah, I've been posting a lot on there. I posted a ton of stuff on online last week. There's a ton of lessons on there. Sharp is saying Bukovac said he can hear something in the upper highs that give the digital away. Any guesses what that could be? To me, it's because there's so much digital information past 10K, like up there in the super squeaky kind of things. I always kind of shave that down. I'm probably going to try to do a CD release show in Nashville. I haven't figured out what that's going to look like or where that's going to be. I need to reach out to some friends there and line up what that's going to look like. Let's see here. Can you or anybody else post screenshots of those Fractal patches? I'd love to see how they're dialed in. I mean, yeah, I got you right here, dude. Let me just do it. Let me put the Fractal back in. That should do it. There you go. Can you see it? Can you see it there now? And as I go through, I'll just show you. There's the tube driver. It's kind of barely on. Classic, super not doing anything. But the level's high. The comp is 10 dB of boost. There's some comp on it. The amp is, dude, there's just, I'm not doing a lot, I think that's the thing, guys, is like everybody's looking for there to be some drastic thing. And there's just not. There's a basket weave and a classic lead 80 with a 121 on it. And it's literally the stock aura delay in the multi-delay, and the mix is at 20%. Like, I'm just not doing anything, guys. Like, there's no secret sauce. It's just, yeah, there's nothing crazy. Let me turn that back off here. There you go. Fausto says, when I play modelers, I play differently than real amps. Is that the same for you? No, I try to get it to where I'm playing like me, no matter what. And no matter what setup I'm building, I'm trying to build it to where it doesn't block me from playing like myself. And obviously I'm not warmed up right now, and I need to practice here for a little bit. Yeah, so here's the gain, Dustin. Turn it back on. It's like at noon. It's like there's not that much gain. I'm hitting it hard. There's not any, it's like, I mean, here's 8 dB of level. Here's 10 dB of level, but I'm also compensating for some comp over here. And then there's your gain. It's just not that much. I think that's another misconception is people think that there's just all this gobs of gain. Yeah, Sahar, full album on Patreon. That's a delight. If you want to listen to the new album, you can listen to it there. So yeah, I'm glad you saw that. You can't download it, but you can listen to the whole album. So if anybody wants to hear the new record, you can listen to it on Patreon, patreon.com/AndyWoodMusic. And I'll just drop that right here. What am I doing? Oh man, did I mess up something? Here, let's do this. I'm trying to do too many things at the same time. Yeah, you can listen to the whole record there. Dustin says, dang, I guess I don't need to be using as much gain as I think for that solo sound. No, man. It's all about how you're coming into it and what you want to hear the instrument, you know? You don't want to hear a lot of fizz and fuzz. You want to hear the instrument, you know? Yeah, so that's a good thing to take away from this, Dustin, is it's less gain than you think. Oh, sorry, Paul. Let me just edit that. Let me do it again. Oh, yeah, Chuck put it there. Yeah, Chuck's got it. Cool. Oh, thanks. Thanks, brother. Yeah. Yeah, so if you guys want to hear the new record, you can do it at Patreon. That's another perk that I offer for the patrons is they get to hear it and listen to it as much as they want and before it comes out. So I'm really excited for you guys to hear that. I'm going to go back through and just make sure I didn't miss anything in the Matt, dude, thank you for the $5. Thank you for the 5 spot, man. I appreciate that. Just because Eddie. Yeah, just because Eddie. Hey, Jim, hope you're good. I hope you're doing really, really well. And we need to get our lessons and stuff going. That goes for all of you monster members, right? Russell says, have you tried an 8-38? It's cool. It's too light for my right hand. I need a little bit of springboard there. I need a little bit of resistance. The left hand is cool. Neil is asking about the action height on my guitars. It's actually the Sir factory. It's really close to the Sir factory specs. So if you guys, I'll tell you this, if you want to know what I set my stuff up with guitars on the numerics, just go to the Sir webpage and that's it. Like whatever the Sir factory setup is, that's my setup. Yeah. I just pull them out of the case and I'm like, yeah, this plays great. And I go with it. Yeah. So yeah, it's interesting. Paul says I downgraded to 9s from 10s. Best decision ever. Interesting. Wish Ibanez made a 24 fret, 24 quarter scale with a Floyd. I think Vigier does. If that's a thing that you really need. I'm just checking here. Where can I buy a Skank Banger hoodie? Yeah, the hoodies will be coming out. We'll have merch soon. This was our tour hoodie from 2021. This was the Glamdemic tour. So it was really, really fun to do that with the boys. Do you notice a tension difference? No, not really. It's subtle. Billy Wagner says, do you still work on bending in tune in your vibrato? I've been playing country now and I'm doing a rock gig and I'm using a different set of muscles. It's taking me a bit to get into the rock mode. Yeah, I constantly am working on bending and vibrato and stuff. Yeah, all that kind of stuff. Paul says, is the delay emitting a reverb or is it the acoustics of your room? What you're hearing is not any acoustics because the fractal is direct. Everything that you hear on the guitar's input to you guys, you're not hearing any room that I'm providing. Everything is direct with the guitars. Yeah. What single coils in that guitar? V60s. Yeah, imagine me getting kicked out. I'm sure I'd get kicked out for something. Sorry, the preset Aurora is in the multi-block delay. Thank you, sorry. Yeah. When you said halo, is that the Keeley pedal or fractal setting? It's the fractal. Yeah. I do have a halo on all of my touring boards. Shout out to Rob Keeley. Love you, bro. You made a great delay. I'm telling y'all, I'm not sales pitching. I'm not endorsed by Keeley or anything like that. Rob is a friend. He is and the crew have been out to Woodshed. I just genuinely love Rob Keeley and what product he makes. So, I don't get paid per unit sold or anything foolish like that. But I'll tell you this right now, it made the Strymons on my board go away. Take that for what it is. On the ultimate wet, dry, wet video, did you use stock settings in the SD3000 or make your own? I used the Van Halen settings. Also, I played the Mega board at Skank Banger Saturday night. And I'll tell you guys this. Oh, man, this is going to be a hot button. And then we'll let it go from here. Man, so for years, my setup with Skank Banger has been a Van Halen 5153, which is the 100 watt. I use that. And then I use a Fractal Axe 8 in the loop. I've used that for years. The only thing the Axe 8 was doing is a little bit of noise gate and delay. That's all it did. Saturday night, I used the new board, and it was in mono. I just used the stock Van Halen settings, and they're way more delay than I expected. Like our bass player was like, dude, you got a lot of delay going on. It's way more delay than I expected, the Van Halen setting. But I'll tell you this, it was a million times cleaner of a tone. So I know Fractal has done a lot of work on their analog to digital converters. But I'll tell you, using the Fractal direct as its own unit is the only way to go. Because once I took it out, the Axe 8 out of the FX loop and got rid of all those analog digital converters, and I just had the pedals in the loop, man, the purity of the tone was so much more. Well, just is so much more. It was great. Great. I cannot wait to do another Skank Banger gig with that board. It was fantastic. I'm not trying to sell the glass picks. I just make for fun and want to send you some and hear your thoughts. William. Oh, cool. Yeah. I mean, you know, you can just reach out to us on, I know you are Fit to Praise. I know you are. You've got to text me, bro. You got to make it happen. I need you to make it happen. I have a feeling there's more game than I think. Yeah. Can I trouble you for the clean patch? Sure. I mean, I'll tell you what, Dustin, you're on my Patreon, right? I mean, you're over there. I'll post them. I'll post the patches over there so you can have them. The clean patch looks like this. Let me just save this dirty one, 50 watt Marshall. I think I was using this right here for the clean. Yeah. Oh, crap. Hang on. There you go. There's the clean settings. So I'll finish out talking while those settings are up so you can look at them. And the pair of EQs just got a bump at 400. Or no, it doesn't. Never mind. It's rolling it off at, 3,100. And then, the shelf starts at, 10K. And then it's done. Like it starts sloping at 31 and then it's completely out at 10. Yeah. Okay. Did you think the EVH delay level was too much? If you save the EVH patch to another preset, you can adjust it. I asked Pete Thornton's question. I thought the same thing. I don't know. Michael, let me tell you. When I was playing by myself, I was like, this is way too much delay. This is way too much. I'll not be able to play it. The moment the band started playing, it sounded like Van Halen. I don't know what you want to take from that. But the moment that the band started playing, it sounded like Van Halen. And I was like, these are the settings. Like it's the real thing. And I think it's the thing where when you're playing by yourself, it sounds like too much of everything. The moment the band's playing, you're like, oh God, there it is. So I'm super happy with my Skank Banger tone. I'm the happiest I've been with my Skank Banger tone ever. Sessions with Jeff is saying, Andy, is the new studio quiet enough to record mandolin and acoustic guitar? Absolutely. And I love it. I'm out here and I don't have any traffic or any noise. It's just me. Just here I am in my little dungeon, and it's great. So yeah, I'm actually going to be bringing a lot. Yeah. Sahar's saying I'm rolling off that digital noise. Yeah. You can see that's what I'm doing. Let me go back to the amp settings. Here's the cab. 412, 30 watt and a recto. I don't know. It's probably just stuff that I was cycling through. I don't put too much thought into it. I just listen. If you could only play one amp and one cab for the rest of your days, what would it be? Do I get pedals or not? This will be the last question we answer, and then we'll bail because I need to practice. I've got to practice. I'm playing like crap. I'm going to be practicing some bluegrass today. Do I get pedals or not? I mean, you gotta tell me. It's like that's going to dictate my answer. If I only get one amp and one cab for the rest of my life, you've got to tell me if I can get pedals. Am I allowed a pedal board? And if I'm allowed, how many pedals am I allowed? So give me that information, and then I will give you an honest answer. You get 3 pedals. All right, here's my amp of choice. This right now today, it is the Sir SL68 with the matching 412 cabinet. It'll be a Woodshed compressor, a gearbox, and a halo delay. There you go. That's it. Done. Yep. There you go. One has to be a metal zone. I don't have a problem with a metal zone. Hey, I can get a good tone out of a metal zone. I can do it. I think cocaine is healthier than Mountain Dew. Just saying. It probably is. But I'm not going to do cocaine. So, yeah. I don't know why. It's like, I've never done coke. And I like uppers too much. And it's like, I'm not going to do any of that. Just say no to drugs, kids. I can't do uppers. They're going to, dude, I'd be hanging from the ceilings. I'm over caffeinated as it is. So, yeah, say no to that. 3 pedals, yeah. Woodshed compressor, Wampler gearbox, Keeley halo, done. I could literally do my gig with my trio with those 3 pedals, and the SL68. Done, no problem. I've been getting a good tone from Metal Zone since '98. That's a great quote. That needs to be on a t-shirt. I've been getting a good tone from a Metal Zone since '98. Andy Wood. I feel like that needs to be a shirt. Speaking of shirts, hang tight, guys. We're going to have a lot of new merch coming at you. Really excited about it. And I think that's going to do it today. This was a fun hang. Vi Sachatrucci. Hope you're well, my friend. How do you have your Woodshed comp set? Just got a Vimaram butter machine and a halo. It's glorious. Oh, it is. The Vimaram pedals are spectacular. I want all of them. They're spectacular. I love those pedals. How do you have the Woodshed comp set? The threshold is at about 12:30 or 1 o'clock. The speed is set to fast. The gain is at like 2:30 or 3 o'clock. Or 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock. And the ratio is like 9:30 or 10 o'clock. That's it. Thanks, bro. Charisma sounds great on the 4th track. Metal Zone in front or in the loop? Out front. Come on. Don't ever put your distortion in the loop. Don't be that guy. Don't let your friends do it either. Thanks for doing these for us. Not able to be patronizers. Thanks again. Yeah, man. That's the thing, right? So I just look at this as this is something I'm able to do because the people on Patreon keep it going. So for $5 a month, that's all it takes to keep the party rolling. If you're at the $25 a month tier, you get access to the live Zoom masterclasses. Now, those are a lot of fun because it's a Zoom meeting and it's not just me reading words. It's a full-on hang, right? Yeah. What is better, the Gorilla amp or the Axe 3? Come on, Ben. The Axe. You know it's better. What about a JHS AT Plus? I think it's killer. There's one on my big board. I'm looking at it right now. I think the AT Plus is a monster. I think it does a great high gain kind of thing. I've got the gearbox set to a warm, fat, throaty kind of overdrive, the dark, warm thing. And then the JHS is set for a little more teeth. So yeah. With that said, kids, let's do a little housekeeping. First things first, patreon.com/AndyWoodMusic, shameless plug. Keep the machine going. And then from there, AndyWoodMusic.com, where you'll be able to buy all the new stuff when it comes out with the album. Really excited about all that. I'm going to turn this fractal capture off. There you go. And then the guitar, the Woodshed guitar experience. I've got so much fun stuff planned for you guys. Seriously, it is going to be awesome. Steve Morse, Tom Quayle, Dave Beebe, Jake Workman's coming. Going to be magnificent. Magnificent. I got more people. Ryan Bruce, Fluff. You know Fluff. He's great. He's coming. We got a whole horde of people coming. Going to be fantastic. Everyone hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. I know that sounds stupid. I'm sick of hearing it. I'm sick of hearing people say it. I'm sick of saying it. But it matters. If y'all want to see this stuff keep going, that's the only way it can keep going, you know. The other thing is, like, would you like these more than once a week, you know? It's just I'm taking an inventory of how much I can do and what I can offer. So, yeah. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you had a great day today, and be blessed. I hope you have a great week. I hope everything is slamming. I hope all the noodles come to you and you shred your faces off. And if you're looking to help, you know, if you need any assistance in that world, come get in our little Patreon community. Let us make you a better player. There's a bunch of us over there. It's really good hang. So with that said, this episode goes out to my man Ad, who specifically requests the strings picks setups for guitars. We'll see you guys soon.